What's up, Amazon sellers? Q4 is currently up and running, and as we all know, there are going to be massive opportunities in this quarter. That is why today I want to help you in this video by going to share with you my top selling categories from Q4 that I've picked up over my years of selling on Amazon. I know, hashtag excited. Right, if you don't know who I am, my name is Thomas Parkinson and I've been selling on Amazon now, doing online arbitrage for the last 4 years, and I'm a 7-figure Amazon seller. I know, I feel blessed. Now I have 2 Amazon businesses, one in the UK where we're doing 7 figures, and then another one in the USA, which we've recently started. Now, hopefully I even plan to expand even further beyond that as well, but I will keep you updated as I go into that journey. Now, if you are interested in learning about how I did it and building multiple businesses, then do make sure that you follow me and my journey by clicking that subscribe button down below, and I will share with you everything that I'm learning in these videos. So, as you might already know, I've been selling on Amazon now for 4 years in the UK and doing online arbitrage. And this year we broke the £1 million mark in a 12-month period. Now, with my years of experience, what I want to do is share that learning with you that's going to hopefully help you in that period. And it's really going to help you understand, should we say, where we're getting our stock from for our inventory, because this period has so many opportunities that we can take advantage of and obviously drive yours and my sales as well. Now, to prove this to you, my last Q4, should we say, my sales were big at the time, but not so big compared to what we're doing today. But last Q4, we did about £206,000, and that was achieved in just 3 months. And that kind of gives you an idea of what you can achieve in Q4. I mean, that's like nearly £250,000 in just 3 months. That's absolutely crazy. Now, if you want to know which categories, should we say, I sold in, and should we say the potential of Q4, and what else I will say, stay to the end, because obviously I'm going to share with you the exact categories, or should we say the top categories that I have for that quarter. Now, this leads me nicely on to my second chapter, which is about really why is this important? Well, look, time and time again, Q4 is referred to as, should we say, the crazy period, the most important period of the year, because that is, should we say, that is the time when, should we say, all the hard work you've done through the year comes together to allow you to buy so many great deals that you can just sell in the Q4, or should we say the Christmas madness. And trust me, it does go whoom, really up. Now, the one thing which I will say is, thinking about it on reflection, is if you get Q4 right, you can make enough money to cover yourself for the rest of the year to live off. And I know some people who do that. So it's a great opportunity, and obviously something, if you get right, it's going to set you up to really smash your business next year as well, to come back stronger and faster and harder than ever before. Now, should we say preparations during this period are going to be super important. Why? Because during Q4 things happen super fast, and also it can be super challenging as well. That is why in this video I want to help you, should we say, prepare for that uncertainty that lies ahead and familiarize yourself with the categories that are really worked well for us last year in the last Q4. Right, quick question for you guys. Are you prepared for Q4? Do you have your plan of attack ready? Do you know which categories you're buying from? Do you even know the suppliers and even the products maybe? I don't know. Are you that well prepared? Just give me a yes or a no in the comments down below. Are you prepared for Q4? Give me a yes or no in the comments down below. Now that leads me nicely on to chapter number 3, where we're getting information from. Now look, in our business, we utilize a sheet that helps us track all our top selling categories and all our top selling products as well. That's called the Ultimate Sourcing Sheet, or the USS for short. Now, to give you a little bit of background about the USS, this sheet supports us in collecting, should we say, the data that we need to scale our business, and you as well, because you can buy it as well. And basically, the USS serves, should we say, to track all our top selling products, categories, and it just allows us to understand what are the best deals, which are making the most amount of profit, and also to run an efficient, or should we say, most efficient business as possible. Now, hence why the categories today that I'm going to talk about in this video today, I'm going to be mentioning, they're going to be something that isn't made up, but they've actually come from our top selling categories last year in Q4 for the Amazon business. And if you are interested to learn more about the USS, I'll drop a link to a video up there where you can see more about it. That leads me nicely onto what you are looking for right now, and that is quite simply chapter number 4, the top selling categories in Q4. So let's jump into them. So first things first, the top selling category, which probably comes as no surprise, is toys and games. Now, considering that Q4, should we say, includes a lot of like holidays and people gifting presents, selling toys and games typically brings great volume of sales and also great profits. And should we say, not only that, it's the fact that these products are super fast selling. They really are, and because it's like a gift that someone's giving. So for the obvious reasons, people are going to be buying toys for like their children, their nieces, their nephews in Q4. I know I certainly need to as well. Now, it doesn't end there, and that's because also as well, not only are people buying a lot, but also as well, there are a lot of discounts from, should we say, like suppliers in the toys and games. So if you want to look for, should we say, products that are not only going to be fast selling because people are buying lots of them to gift, but then also as well potentially give you a big profit, then this is going to be a top category to source from. I won't deny there will be a lot of competition because other people are looking at it, but obviously that is something that you've got to consider. So, along with those advantages, selling toys and games, there are definitely disadvantages. And that is going to be, selling toys and games. One of the major downsides is that, should we say, quite a lot of the toys and games products, Amazon is now asking for what's known as, should we say, declaration conformities or other documentation, and these are taken from the manufacturer themselves. So just be mindful that you might have to do some extra work in order to get the relevant documentation for Amazon. But also as well, just mindful that this is the biggest selling category. So what you might find is that certain listings get saturated to start with, i.e. lots of competition, a lot of sellers. But as you get closer to Christmas, those sales really start ramping up, and the competition, they just start disappearing because they run out of stock. Now, what I will say is that last year it was actually quite a huge problem for us for all these declaration conformities and all these documentation. And I think it was pretty much about half of the products we sourced last year were in toys and games. So it shows you how much we're buying in this one category. Now, not all manufacturers were, should we say, willing to provide us the documentation. So just something to consider there. So great opportunity, but also as well, there could be a potential impact to that in regards to having those documents. Now, what I will say is if you want to resell products in this category, then make sure, should we say, that you're asked the brand owner first, or see if you can get the brand owner documents. And that's like the declaration of conformity. It just really helps you out, and it helps you avoiding issues. Should you say, right now, sometimes we're not getting them. So it's a bit hit and miss. Amazon aren't particularly clear. So there is that problem. But I don't think that should stop you from selling in toys and games. There's so much opportunity there, and obviously sales are going to go through the roof. So that leads me nicely onto the second category in my list. And if you want to know what the top selling category number 2 is for Q4, well, that is beauty. Now, in this category, we've seen, there are many supplier stores that are, offering lots of sales. So obviously you can get products at a great price and obviously cheat them, but then also to resell on Amazon for a higher profit. In addition to this, with the discounted prices of buying beauty products over Christmas, this category is also a super fast selling category. Now, pretty much in any season, but also in Q4, it sells excessively, much more, because obviously a lot of women like to buy beauty products or have beauty products gifted to them. That's what they're after. It works really well. Now, the other advantage, which I will say about beauty products into Q4, is that if you have maybe a bit of an excess stock, it's not really a problem. Q1, Q2, Q3, these products still sell throughout the entire year. So just make sure you check the keeper graph, but 9 times out of 10, pretty much all these products will sell all year round, so that's great. Now, this leads me, to the downside for selling on beauty products. And the one thing which we observed when sourcing for beauty products there, she said there are still a lot of listings whereby there are a large number of sellers. And right now what we are seeing is that prices are being very compounded or very compressed. There's a lot of competition, and obviously that's reducing the prices, which we say erosion. Now, it might be the case that you're buying something like, £1 profit, and then by the time you get to the listing and actually get the products listed, it might be down to like 50p, maybe even 20p. So you're going to see a reduction in your margin and obviously your ROI. But what I would advise for you is do check keeper, just make sure you're aware of that. buy the right amount of stock, and then also as well, just make sure that this product really does sell during Christmas, because it might be the case that you hold for a few weeks and then bang, all the lower price sellers sell out and now you can sell it at a higher price. So hold those prices for that busy Q4 Christmas crazy time. So this leads me nicely onto the third top selling category, and that is grocery. Now, what I will say about this category is that there are so many, and I mean so many, super fast selling items in this category. Now, if your goal is to sell as many products as possible, then this is going to be the category to get the stock, get it bought, get it sold into Amazon. It's just going to fly out. People are buying so many groceries over the Q4, especially things like, should we say, Terry's chocolate orange. They are things that really fly out. All the kind of like gifting foods, finger food that people eat, even for like the Christmas parties beforehand. Now, should we say, not only do groceries have super fast selling items, but they also have, should we say, many stores that are dropping their prices, offering discounts, so you can find great products at a low price because of the discounts, and obviously you can resell for a good profit, which are fast selling as well. Now, the one thing which I will say is, despite, should we say, the low price, buying and speed, generally speaking, groceries generally tend to have lower profit per unit than something like toys and games or should we say, beauty. So, getting like £1 profit per item is quite reasonable and quite normal in the grocery category. So one thing I'd say for you is just be very aware that it's more of a volume game in the grocery rather than selling one or two items and making really good profits. Now, what I will say is, in addition to that, since groceries, should we say, include things like chocolates, and chocolates are, should we say, potential gifts, bear in mind that these items are perishable, meaning they are prone to damage, but also as well, they do have expiry dates, and food has expiry dates as well. So you as a seller, you've got to take extra care, obviously, when shipping the products into Amazon, but also as well, making sure that you're not holding those stocks for too long. Maybe checking the expiry dates don't expire before Christmas. That would be a disaster, and also complaints, but just making sure, because the customer receives a great product and obviously they're happy with that. Otherwise, you are going to be getting bad reviews. So something to think about there. Now, the one thing which I'll say is, I just talked about expiration dated products, and I think it's something really important. I used to know some really big sellers who have to manage their expiry dates over the Q4 period very closely, and they have to be quite aggressive with their pricing, because it is a big concern, and obviously it can lead to complaints. And when you're doing volume, it can lead to potentially a lot of complaints. So what I will do is I'm going to drop a video above called "What You Need to Do When Selling Items with Expiration Dates." And that's just going to help you understand more about expiration dated products and how to manage them. So check that out. That's going to be really helpful. Now, the thing which I'll say now is this leads me nicely onto the fourth and the final category for Q4 this year, and that is, well, interesting enough, pet supplies. Now, in this category, it might not be, should we say, your potential gifts for, should we say, human beings, but they could be gifts for the pets, and we all love our cats, dogs, snakes, birds, whatever it may be. I don't really know, whatever you choose to have. But based on our records from last year, pet supplies are selling massively in Q4. And this is what we've observed in this category, that these items, they not only do actually sell really well, but also as well have good profits, because people are buying these, and also there are promotions to have in them with certain suppliers. So just generally, they have good profits as well. So just be mindful of that. Now, what I will say is, if you are looking, should we say, to get something with a good profit and that probably sells quite well, and maybe might be a bit, these products do generally sell all year round, then pet supplies can be a really good category to think about. Now, aside from big profits, most retailers allow you to order, if you say, quite large, bulky orders for pet supplies, because we're not buying like once a week or something. We might buy a month or 2 months worth of pet supplies. So you can buy more bulk a lot easier than you could with, say, for example, like toys or beauty. There are less limitations on that. So this also means orders getting cancelled a lot less because of limits. This is one thing that I really like about pet supplies, because you can do this. Now, what I will say also as well is that pet supplies do actually have some disadvantages to them. So one of which is, just be aware of, there are some private label brands or known brands in this category that, should we say, might issue with IP complaints if you start selling their brand. So, and there are a few of them, just be very mindful about that. So really checking your IP or checking the brands that you're buying with the FastTrackFBA brand checker, and I'll drop a link down below for that. But also as well, if you're not sure what an IP complaint is, this is quite simply where, should we say, a brand owner or their legal team contacts Amazon to issue what's known as an IP, intellectual property complaint, for a specific ASIN that you are selling, saying that you as the seller are unlawfully using the company's intellectual property. And in that case, it's a private label brand, and you're going to get that red mark on your Amazon account. Now, when that happens, what you want to be doing is contacting a supplier to get that removed, obviously show that you've got the legitimate invoices, and there's a lot of processes to go through that. But if you want to learn more about, should we say, IP complaints, what I will do is I'll drop a link to a video up there called What is an IP Complaint? And that's just going to give you a lot more detail. But do check out that FastTrackFBA brand checker and make sure you're not buying those brands which are, should we say, pet foods or pet supplies. But obviously they are going to lead to a brand, but it's a great category. I really love pet supplies, and pretty much it sells all year round as well. Fantastic. Right, Q4 is going to be amazing. And out of all the quarters you want to be selling in the year, Q4 is the one quarter where you are going to be making great money, and you're going to be like blown away by like, wow, this is sold so fast, but also the profit's been amazing. And you're going to be killing yourself. You're going to be like, I wish I had more deals. I wish I could buy more opportunities to invest my money to turn it in this super fast, busy time. Now, if you are like me and probably most sellers, the one biggest thing we're always looking for in the Q4 period is getting more leads. There's opportunities to buy low, to sell high, and to invest our money in, which is going to make more money. Now, if you are struggling for maybe leads, or maybe perhaps you're struggling for time and you just don't have enough time to find the leads during this busy period because, hey, you've got family, you've got things to get on with, then do check out FastTrackFBA Leads. This is a service I created whereby we have a team of VA sourcing in the US and another team in the UK. They are sourcing 7 days a week. They show you every single lead that they find on our web portal, and you quite simply come in, you buy tokens from us, and then you exchange those tokens to unlock those leads. You can go to the supplier, buy the products, and ship them to Amazon and resell them for a profit. Trust me, it's completely game changing. No one else does anything like it, and I think it's really going to change your Q4 and help you level up your game and fast track your Amazon business. Check it out. I'll drop a link down below, FastTrackFBA Leads. Now, that leads me nicely onto my final chapter. That is chapter number 5, top tips to help you out in this amazing period. What I did before creating this content is I checked last year's top selling categories, and this was going to give me a guide from sourcing categories into this year, this Q4. Now, for me, I should say I'm more than likely to replenish a lot of the products that I found, whether it be from beauty, grocery, toys and games, pet food, more pet supplies. They are going to be things that I'm going to be looking at in Q4. And I think for you as well, if you have sold before, looking at those products in the past to help you restock again for this year, that's really going to help you out. Now, it leads me on to number 2, and what I'll say is whenever you're buying anything in Q4, do check the ASIN, make sure you check the keeper graph that they are performing and that they have performed well for the past few months, and that it's going to perform well into the Q4 period. Too many times I've seen it whereby people jump on or think they found a product, the listing's only been online for like a couple of days, maybe a week or two, and you just don't have the data to show this the right one. When you see that, try looking for another listing. There's probably another listing whereby it's got a lot more sales history over time. That's probably going to let you know more about this product and if it's going to be a good product for Q4, so do check that out. But I think that is my top tips for Q4. Now, what I will say is that after going through, should we say, all the top selling categories for Q4 in 2021 now, you might want to consider thinking about improving your sourcing and improving sourcing techniques. And that's why I'm going to drop a playlist around here called Sourcing 101, which is just going to help you understand top sourcing techniques that I use in my business, but also as well you can use in yours to really level up your game. So check out that playlist. But what I will say is if you like this content, give me a big thumbs up. And hey, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button down below. But for me, Thomas Parkinson, FastTrackFBA, thank you very much.